UTV 44 Friday Night Rivals, sponsored by Mullinax Ford.
Two of the most locally dominant teams over the past decade will meet for the first time ever here tonight at beautiful Saraland High School as the Spartans, ranked number 10 in 6A, take on the number 5 ranked McGill-Toolen Yellow Jackets, also in 6A now. Good evening. I'm Jim Cox, my partner Dan Brennan, as we are high atop the press box here at Saraland on what will be our warmest night of the season for high school football, as you can tell by the sweat from both of us here. But McGill, powerhouse in 7A. And now they drop down to 6A. Saraland has been to the state championship twice since 2014 in 6A. Now they get to match up against McGill. I mean, this has all the makings of a great region matchup to start the region play tonight.
Yeah, but smartly, there's going to be social distancing in the stands. You'll notice that. A lot of rows. You can't even sit in, so that's smart, even though this game, the tickets are a hot commodity. I think one of these teams, McGill, quite frankly, is getting their ranking at number 5 from reputation. They were so great in 7A, you just assume they're going to be a really good team in 6A. On the other hand, Saraland has earned that number 10 spot now after not being ranked preseason, which is almost unthinkable.
Yeah, beat Theodore from 7A to open up things in week 1. As always, we got great players to watch here tonight. And you mentioned in the pregame show, Tennessee, that name's coming up a lot, and we're going to mention that name quite a bit tonight here on the McGill-Toolen side.
Yeah, that's what McGill hopes. Jordan Mosley is their lanky receiver. He's been around. He's been a starter since he was a sophomore. 6'1", 195, so he's getting bigger and thicker, Jim, right? Really good athlete, and Arsenault will make him a target much of the night. And you can't blame him. He's an SEC-type player. On the other side, now how do you stop somebody like Mosley? Well, you do it with a great lanky cornerback. 6'3" cornerbacks do not grow in the area or on trees or nearly anywhere, even in this subtropical weather. And his name is Torrente Hinton, 6'3", 170. Great athlete, can turn the hips, make the play. He'll get a little help from his friend Willie Butler on the other side, too. They may exchange on who's got to keep an eye on Mosley. But the point is, the Saraland defense has got some really studs on the backside. Jeff Kelly likes what he has back there.
Yeah, both teams lost a lot in graduation last year, and I thought Ernest Hill made a great point to you. He said, we look at each other and we look real similar.
Yeah, exactly. I said, Ernest, what do you see when you see Saraland? He said, I see us.
Yep.
We'll see.
Inexperienced, but players who are used to being in big games, and the moment won't be too big for either side. So we're just about to kick things off here tonight in Saraland. Yes, it is a 6A Region 1 matchup. McGill-Toolen no longer in 7A. They're down to 6A to take on Saraland tonight. It's McGill-Toolen's first game of the year. Saraland unbeaten. Had a forfeit last week because of COVID. We'll talk more about that after kickoff. And we are ready to start week 3 of the high school football season here on UTV 44 Friday Night Rivals. And we are excited to be here and excited to see this first ever matchup. As we mentioned, McGill-Toolen and Saraland. And oh boy, I think 6A Region 1 has been such a powerhouse in this part of the state forever. And
now what is it? What do you call it now?
Yeah, now you just drop McGill-Toolen down, who, since Ernest Hill's been there, they've just gone 23-1 in region play. So all of a sudden you just step it up as Michael Shine will kick off for the Yellow Jackets. Jarrell Williams for Saraland. Williams had a big game last week, and he's looking to start this way across the 40, the 50. Pushed out of bounds at the 33-yard line. The junior had 2 touchdowns last week on 4 catches.
Another guy with some SEC offers. You can see right away on the kickoff why.
Here's Jeff Kelly, the head coach of the Saraland Spartans. 84-29 overall, 53-16 in region play. He's gone to the championship game twice in his 10 years here in Saraland. 2014 against Clay Chalkville, and 2018 against Pinson Valley. And Jeff Kelly loves this young man, Carson Green, the quarterback. Green will keep it. And he's inside the 30 down to about the 28-yard line. He'll pick up 7 on first down. And this young man, big week last week, 20 for 29, 254 yards, 4 touchdowns. Colton Beasley leads him, 3-year starter on the left side at 295. Weatherby, Dunham, Krause, and Tyson Allo And got some speedsters on the outside as well. We saw Williams on that return. Klein Smith will kind of line up as a tight end. You've got York on the other side. He had 4 receptions last week. C.J. Mack will play some in the slot, and Marion Crawford out of the backfield had 58 yards rushing as we get a quick timeout here. And we were talking about the young man, Carson Green. We met him on our pregame show, how impressed we were with him. We saw some highlights, and Jeff Kelly, boy, he knows quarterback play. He was a great quarterback. Of course, one of the greatest ever played at Southern Miss, played with the Seahawks, and he thinks the world of this young man under center.
Yeah, I visited Jeff at the facility on Sunday, and I said, well, okay, we kind of chit-chatted about COVID, and then it was like, well, tell me about your team. First thing out of his mouth, and this kid played 3 years at Satsuma. First year here, he said, you're going to like our quarterback. And one of the things they liked about him so much was he just came in and without being showy, kind of took over the room.
Yep.
Like, I'm the quarterback, let's all work. And he can play.
He was very impressive in the Week 1 victory over Theodore. They were supposed to play at Trussville last week. Crawford up the middle. He's going to have the first down here for the Spartans, down to 21 to the 21.
Good news, because their inside guys, especially the 2 guards, are both juniors, first-year starters. If they're able to establish something between the guards, let alone the tackles, that's good news.
This McGill defense, they're young over there. Edwards, Simpson, and Brown up front. Then you got Rice, Bryan, Coggin, also Blake will play a bunch there. Freddie Davis, keep your eye on him. He's a quarterback that switched over to linebacker. And Turner, he's great in the corner. Prescott, Williams, and then Jaden Mosley. He's their leader, the safety. Flipped out to the flat, complete. Gonna pick up about 8 as they go to Klein Smith, the senior.
Yeah, not an easy throw. That's what we're talking about. This Saraland quarterback, Carson Green, pretty well defended. He gets it out there, very accurate.
Yeah, Williams with good coverage.
Yeah, that wasn't the problem.
Legal substitution, legal man downfield, excuse me, against, well, that happened quickly because that play developed pretty quick, and that'll back up the Spartans.
Somebody's going to get somebody on the second level.
Ineligible. Downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. We'll replay 1.
Boy, how good did this game look on the schedule when we were putting things together with the help of Jared Kihas, of course, really.
And by putting it together with the help of him, he said, don't you think we should do this game? And we said, yes, Jared, we should.
It just was so appealing because the teams have never played.
1st and 15. Crawford in the backfield, and Green. And another whistle. So this one, the pre-snap variety of the McConnell Collision Center flag. And looks like McGill's going to give that 5 back.
Prior to the snap. Encroachment. Lined up all sides on the defense. 5-yard penalty. The first down.
Every time somebody has a mishap on the field, we talk about where you take your car when you've got a mishap on the road. Thank you to McConnell.
All right, so back to 1st and 10 from the 21. Fakes to Crawford, wide open over the middle. Touchdown, Spartans. C.T. Engelbert had 4 receptions last week and has one this week. Kind of plays that fullback H-back spot and just slips out of the backfield there and wide open.
He slipped out. Sometimes you'll see this fullback slips out and it's just there's nobody there. And this is somebody that Jeff Kelly alerted to me has really good hands. You can see right there, very comfortable catching the football. Saraland's got the lead. 2nd
touchdown of the young season. And the PAT by Alexander, and that didn't take long. 1 minute and 27 seconds is all in Saraland. After the big kickoff return from Jarrell Williams. Only did a handful of plays, and this young man has his 5th touchdown toss of the season to Engelbert. Green and company on top 7-0 on Friday Night Rivals. Saraland, after the big kickoff return from Jarrell Williams, had a short field, took advantage of it, and they're on top 7-0. Jeff Kelly couldn't ask for a much better start.
Oh, pretty confident offense. They weren't perfect. They a couple of hiccups, but they got the job done quick.
Alexander with a high kick all the way back to the 5. And now Saraland finally able to trip up Mosley as he crosses the 30. And now we'll get a good look for the first time this year at this McGill offense. Again, they have not played. They played a jamboree 3 Fridays ago. Then they were off the first 2 weeks. So this McGill team really ready to get after someone and see how they do. There's Coach Ernest Hill. What a run he's had at McGill. 33-5 as a head coach at 7A McGill. It's Braylon McReynolds up to the 36-yard line for Willie Butler. One of those 2 corners Dan highlighted, pulls him down. Justin Thomas Miller, Ryan Manis. You got Boswell. He's one of the returning starters up there, really kind of that leader. Evan Williams and Dalton. They need the juniors to play well up front. Millsap on the edge along with Harbin. This time they'll give it to Mosley coming around, and Mosley's going to pick up the first down. The Tennessee commit. Great size, 6'1", just under 200 pounds, and speed if he turns the corner. And they like to get it to him in a multitude of ways. Saraland's defense gave up 21 to Theodore in week 1. Trayvon McAlpine had 2 sacks up front, leading him with Smith and Walker. Linebackers Hughes, Darrington, Johnson, and Thompson. Thompson, a quarterback, they moved over to linebacker. Butler and Hinton. And then you got Anderson and Roberson rounding out the secondary that Jeff Kelly really likes. Stan Brennan told us about. Good block on the edge as the quick out comes up the near side and onto the 35-yard line. McReynolds out of the backfield will pick up 23.
Boy, the blocking by McGill has been outstanding on this first drive.
Watch the seal block right there.
Perfect.
That was Mosley.
Yep. It was big. Using that. I know in the pregame we told you he was 6'11". That's not true. He's 6'1", but 195. He's filling out.
It's McReynolds gets strung along, and Peyton Smith there to drag him down. Boy, how much do scouts love seeing a premier wideout do the job on the edge, sealing the block as well.
Yeah, and at a school like McGill, it's going to be drilled into you. And then if you're committed to Tennessee, Pruitt and his gang's probably drilling it into you every time they call you up. Say, if you ever want to hit the field in Knoxville, you better knock somebody backwards when you don't have the ball in your hands.
Spencer Arsenault, the quarterback. Now, he took over, remember, as a sophomore about midway through the year. Spencer Lehman, it was Jordan Sheldon Lehman got hurt, and he took over, and he's pretty much been starting from then. And this ball, they're going to say
incomplete pass?
Yep. Sean Kelly said incomplete. He did not have it very long. And Peyton Smith was there and wasn't going very far, even if they would have held on to it. But yep, Arsenault took over as a sophomore and has been starting since then. McGill opening up 3 straight road games here tonight, then Gulf Shores, then at Citronelle, then 5 of the last 6 at the Lip to close things out.
Wow.
3rd and 9. Arsenault on the screen. That one nearly intercepted as it looked like McAlpine got a hand on it to maybe tip that one as they were trying to get it to McReynolds.
Yeah, he definitely had somebody in his face there. I think it was Pate Smith, too. Smith and Walker, very active. Then you got McAlpine. He's just kind of a plugger up front. He's hard to move.
Shine's going to try a 50-yard field goal here. Will Taylor will hold.
We're talking to the McGill staff who said you got a good kicker. Well, this is the answer right here if they believe in this.
Shine, the left foot kicker, kicked for the Swad last year as well. Big leg, but just pushed it wide. Actually pulled it a little bit, had enough distance. But just, you're at the 34. It's just kind of, you don't want to punt it. You're probably going to put it in the end zone. You're 4th and 9. Your defense not good. And
you know what's different about this Saraland offense, too, Jim? We talked about this in the pregame show. A couple of years ago, we did a game with Saraland against St. Paul's at St. Paul's, and they were really a downhill running team. Remember that?
Just physical as can be.
They were physical. They could almost say, we're going right here. Just follow the fullback, and that's where we're going. See if he can stop us. This team a lot more spread out, a lot more by design. Getting the ball in the air, short, quick throws, and a quarterback that can run.
Green pulls it out. Ooh, took a huge hit right across the 25. Because again, on the missed field goal, the ball goes back to the 20. And there's a big hit right in the middle there on Green.
I think it's, you know, it's the really good coaches obviously adapt to the talent and the people that they've got. And Jeff Kelly's done that with this team. He likes his wideouts. He likes his talented skill guys. They're the focus. It's not just run it down your throat.
Javon Edwards, the 6'3" junior who came up, made the big hit. Their play clock just at 10 now, so plenty of time for Green and company. Looking over the middle, he's able to get that one complete. Jerome York had 81 yards in receiving last week, and a little crossing pattern, going to move the chains again as he'll pick up 9. Another first down.
You like the way Jarrell Williams looked on the kickoff return. The fact is, this guy's even faster.
Yep.
York
started last year on this team.
Yep.
4 receptions for 81 yards. 2 weeks ago, I keep saying last week, they didn't play last week. 2 weeks ago against Theodore, and get a flag. The side judge over that one. I just wonder if that one's something from the McGill side, a sideline warning maybe.
They seem to be all way back.
Yeah, it was a sideline warning.
Huh.
Yeah, everybody with the new social distancing protocols in place. Must be one of the coaches just up a little too close on the sideline. No harm there. 1st and 10 here for the Spartans. Green gives it off to Crawford. Crawford to the 42-yard line. He'll pick up 8.
He's got a good running back size, 180 pounds. Not overwhelmingly big, but you can see quick, tough. And again, they're blocking up front with the center and guards.
Saraland quickly up, and they send Engelbert in motion. Give it back off to Crawford on the right side. And Crawford got just enough of a block to get to the 45, maybe the 46, and another first down here for Saraland. Coach Brett Boutwell, one of the assistant coaches on the offensive side, he too was really high in the senior quarterback who has come in here and made an impression in his senior season.
He's the flavor of the month up here for sure, don't you think?
And you know, played at Satsuma and now here at Saraland, and you know, you're at Satsuma, you're not seeing Theodore, McGill, those type of schools with that many numbers and sizes and
athletes.
And now we're seeing that more and more. And oh, now a flag comes in as there was some pushing and shoving at the end of that play. And
Connor Blake was in the middle of it. I know that. And he's pleading his case.
Yeah, William Coggin was there as well. And I think this one's probably going to go against, it looked like Saraland maybe had the last little, it really wasn't much, just some jawing and then maybe a one push. And we'll see who got caught.
Like on the defense.
Oh, wow. Goes against.
Also have unsportsmanlike on the offense.
That's good.
That offset, replay.
Yeah, it didn't look like anything too egregious on either side. And referees just send a little signal there, say, hey, we're not going to put up with any of it. And the collision centers. And we'll get our heat timeout here as we're just a little more than halfway through.
That's for the two of us.
Looking for somebody to give me an all-over Botox shot to stop that sweating in the pregame. 5:56 to go in the first. It's 7-0 Saraland. They got the ball in midfield here on Friday Night Rivals. Halfway through the first on Friday Night Rivals. We're in Saraland tonight. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, David Sharp back after his one-game suspension last week. Jared Kihas in the truck.
I don't think he appreciated that.
2nd and 7. David's our statistician. Green, good protection now. Picks it up, wants to scramble to the outside, still looking downfield, and will step out of bounds right at midfield. Good coverage downfield by the Jackets there to bring up 3rd and about 6 here for Saraland. McGill with Jaden Mosley back there and Braden Turner in the secondary. Two really, really good DBs, and Mosley kind of the leader of this defense.
And you can see that Green was looking downfield hoping to find something. He did not, but he's got some pretty good wheels and a good sense of where he is.
Yeah, Mosley at 6'2", 195, roam in the middle of the field back there at safety. And I think Saraland, thought Saraland maybe took a timeout. No, we got a flag on the far side of the field again. Sean Kelly. Going to tell us what this McConnell flag on the play is.
Snap, legal procedure. On the offense, it's a 5-yard penalty, still third down.
You know, first game we saw, not a lot of these type of pre-snap penalties. Last week at Ladd, we had some more penalties, but they weren't a ton of the pre-snap variety. Now, this one may be a little more than we expected.
I'd agree, especially with the Saraland team that was already strapped it up and had a game a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and McGill lining up offside on defense. 3rd and 11. And another one. That's going to be against Saraland as well. And I think Klein Smith might have started turning that one upfield a little bit too soon.
Yeah, he did. He's their Hunter Renfro, Coach Kelly told me.
Prior to the snap, legal procedure. On the offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
XFL, Canadian Football League, all it's good there. It's not here.
Yeah, if you're playing for Manitoba, all is fine. I think that Coach Kelly and the staff really like the parts that this team has. And I think the team also, Jim, they were not rated in the top 10 in 6A preseason.
Bit of a chip on their shoulder?
They didn't like that.
3rd and 16. To the other side with Smith now over the middle, high, complete at the 40, and a first down to the 37-yard line.
How do you like Green now? We were talking about this kid before the game, quarterback with a beautiful throw, and he's got some options out there to where to throw it.
Yeah, how about they bring Hinton over from the defensive side?
Yep.
Line him up, and the 6'3" corner / wide receiver on 3rd and 16 converts.
Jeff Kelly really thinks the strength of his team is wideouts, DBs.
Green comes back. Hinton slips a tackle at the 30 and flags. This one's going to come back.
Wow, that's going to negate a big play.
Yeah, Freddie Davis was the one who got held or hit in the back at the 33. And boy, you hate to waste that play. Just not only there, you kind of got that call saved up. You know, you're not going to use that many times to Hinton during the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like Hinton so far.
During the play, blocking the back, on the offense. It's 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. The first down.
Hinton has not been a decoy when he's flipped over to offense.
Yeah, he's been out there twice, and they put it in his hands twice.
Yeah.
Dan talked about him as a corner at 6'3". So it'll stay first down, but pushes him all the way back to the 46. Williams lines up to the bottom of the screen. Engelbert, the block on the left side, and they go to Crawford. And Crawford stood up at the 40, but still on his feet, pushing ahead. Crawford down to the 33. He'll pick up 13 on first. And forever for Saraland.
A little trap play, and they blocked very well. And look at the extra yardage by Crawford, and that is nothing but leg drive and attitude.
You know, he hit 6'2", 195. Freddie Davis. Freddie Davis also was a quarterback coming up at McGill, and Ernest Hill. I happened to see him on film, and he said, "Yeah, we like him over there. He's got to maybe learn to get lower sometimes."
Yeah.
You kind of saw that
right there.
Yeah, and you're just, you know, you're so athletic, but you've got to be fundamentally strong on that side of the ball. And Crawford gashes the McGill defense to the 22 and another first down here for Saraland.
There didn't seem to be any panic on the McGill sideline before this game. Like, we're McGill, we know what we're doing. But so far, Saraland has taken the fight to the Jackets.
Boy, Crawford, when he got going downhill there, right in the Right in the middle of the field. Now he's going to get
banged up that left arm, Jim, but he cut back. He definitely sees the holes, sees where the blocks are. That play was designed more to go to the left, cutting it back with his speed and fury.
Looks like a shoulder they were going to check on. Corey Darrington replaces him. And he'll take the handoff and another flag. Darrington also plays over on that defensive side. And it's ridden out of bounds there. Trent Prescott, the senior, came over, but let's see what this one is. Maybe just a sideline warning on.
Okay. I think you're right.
Saraland. You know, you think about that. It's just such a dangerous part of the game for the officials because they work on that sideline and they're looking entirely at the field and they don't expect to have any interaction left or right, and it can be really dangerous for the officials.
Yes.
2nd and 7. Darrington will stay in the backfield. Carson Green looks right side, flips it off, able to get it to Williams, and Williams lunges inside the 10, down to the 6, and it's 1st and goal, Saraland.
That's a confident quarterback, Jim.
Picks up 13, yeah.
When he throws it, he knows where he's going with it, and he lets her fly. Very accurate.
Play calling as well, because he hasn't had to look off that first option very often.
Very true. And when he is a little bit displeased with what he sees downfield, he can run it.
So now Crawford comes back in. Those running backs sometimes, when the ball gets closer to the goal line, they feel a little rejuvenated, ready to get back in, right?
I'm better.
Crawford, who had 58 yards last week, lines up right next to Green, and he'll take it on the right side. Puts his head down. Has a bowl ahead, but got wrapped up there by William Coggin. Cyclone as his YPO or his CYO nickname was from a couple of coaches. Coach Andrews, Coach Wilcox gave him that to the young man. And
Cyclone.
yes.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah.
Try to tackle a Cyclone.
That's what he's had since he was a
he's
youngster playing CYO.
He's a tough guy, and this offensive line's really doing a number right now.
2nd and goal. Crawford dances, goes down low. So nobody's given the official signal yet, though. Far side official has him like a foot out.
Yeah, 3rd down. They go over you, he'll go under you.
Yeah, he thought he had made it in. The Saraland well-spaced out crowd below us thought he had as well.
Boy, it looked pretty good, but we never saw the ball.
Now they'll go big I formation and just powered ahead for the touchdown, and Saraland on top 13-0.
Well, now we see what Theodore was dealing with a couple of weeks back when a 7A team came up here and really had a hard time keeping up with Saraland. It's a good team. They're ranked now.
Carson Green over there. Coach Boutwell giving him some taps as Luch Alexander with the PAT, and Saraland has extended the lead now. 14-0. Quarterback sneak, good push. Dunham, Weatherbury, and Beasley help power things forward for Green, and the Spartans on top by 2 scores on Friday Night Rivals. Well, we saw Torrente Hinton come over on the offensive side of the ball from his usual defensive spot and had a couple of big plays there. One called back, but Saraland just jumped out to a quick 14-0 lead over McGill. And now we'll see the Yellow Jackets. Anthony Eager back deep. Waits the kick from the Spartans. McGill makes a late.
Why don't you call the penalty on the couch? You can get one now. What?
Jeff Kelly having a conversation down there with the official.
Yeah, he got the feeling that they were delaying things so McGill could get set up right. He said, that's not your job.
Onside kick. Looked like Darrington let it go just across the 50 and recovers it at the 48. Matthew Milner came up with the onside kick. A beautiful kick. I thought it was Darrington who came in to kick. We'll have to see who the kicker was, but it had to go 10. And it was recovered at the 48. First down, Saraland. Yeah, it was Darrington. Wow, what a great kick. He stays away from it. Nobody from McGill around there. Darrington initially fell on it, but then Milner got it. Boy, talk about stealing a possession and trying to put your foot on the throat of a down opponent.
Here's a team, too, that McGill hasn't figured out at all yet. 143 total yards for the Saraland offense so far, and we're only in the first period. McGill's got 36.
Wow. And now you can see why Jeff Kelly was so upset at the official.
Yep.
Because he wanted to get that play off before they...
He was pulling a rabbit out of his hat and he said, you're interfering with what we're about to do.
So at the 49.
See if this guy takes a shot downfield right now.
Green looks as Dan Brennan set. It was just overthrown. Good coverage over there on the far side as he looked for Jewell and Braden Turner. First incomplete pass for Green tonight.
His incomplete passes look nice.
Then Turner, the junior cornerback back there for McGill, stride for stride with Williams. And both Williams and Green have developed a very strong early chemistry bond here.
You know, in our area, Green's quite frankly been under the radar at Satsuma, but he's definitely a difference maker at quarterback.
Crawford was ahead for 8. It'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, Crawford was 6 yards downfield before anybody touched him. And this offensive line, a couple of young guys up front, too, at guard, 2 juniors. They're having a good game so far. Weatherby and Krause doing a job, along with the center, Dunham. They're just pushing McGill back.
And McGill's got some size. When Simpson's in there, he's 265. Brown 295. 3rd, and we'll call it a long 3. Engelbert pulls. Now they pop it back off. Complete first down to the 34-yard line. Jerome York with the reception.
Jeff Kelly saying we're a little more finesse this year. Well, maybe so. Maybe you're both. Maybe you're finesse and power.
Maybe you're learning more about that 1 quarter into game 2.
I love the motion of the quarterback, the way he gets it out. So much confidence. Plants his feet, lets it go, and it's been on the mark nearly every time except for that long one.
Saraland will just let the clock run down here with 10 seconds left. An impressive opening quarter for the Saraland Spartans, ranked number 10 in 6A here in Alabama, taking on the number 5 ranked McGill-Toolen Yellow Jackets. And the hometown team, Saraland, on top by 2 scores through 1 here on Friday Night Rivals. It has been all Saraland so far, and it started with the opening kickoff. Jarrell Williams there, and they have not slowed down. Engelbert with a touchdown catch from Green, and then more as they bring over Hinton from cornerback, put him in the slot. Green with a keeper. And now, as we start the second quarter, Saraland knocking on the door again at the 34. 10 first downs in that first quarter. They have dominated time of possession. Give it off to York. York a little stutter step at the 30, and he's out to about the 28-yard line here. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan in Saraland, Alabama. Our entire Friday Night Rivals crew headed up by Jared Kihos down in the truck. David Sharp, our statistician, and our great men and women here working this game for us on a very hot, steamy night in South Alabama.
Thank goodness that eventually the sun goes down in the west. I didn't care which direction it went down, but pleasant evening now. Not so pleasant for McGill.
Green on the keeper, has the first down and more. He had a 31-yard touchdown run against Theodore, and he's down to the 13. Jeff Kelly said, I think he's a dude. I would agree. Green looks like a dude in all facets out there.
Looks like a dude to me. Comes in from Satsuma after being a 3-year starter there. Look at the moves, too. He's shifty, he's quick, he's got good speed, and he is tough. And then, of course, if you want him to throw it, not a problem.
McGill needs to make something happen. They need to force a turnover, something here. Saraland went up 14-0. Then they did the surprise onside kick, recovered it. And McGill's defense has been out there most of the night thus far. Green, lots of time. Zips it inside the 5, down to the 2, and it's first and goal as Engelbert has his second catch of the night. A lot of zip on that one. And spacing, just a little soft spot there. Engelbert sets down. And he's able to make the reception, and Jeff Kelly really talked about this young man to you in your visit earlier this week as well.
He did. This is a guy that is selfless, a fullback type guy, and also can catch the football, as we've seen.
Had a touchdown thus far here tonight. Now he'll line up in the traditional I, and McGill's going to take a timeout here. McGill has not played yet. They had a jamboree 3 Fridays ago. So they are out here tonight, and they are in a battle. High school football last night. Theodore knocks off Bryant. That was the first loss of the year for Bryant. UMS bounces back, starts their new winning streaks. They beat LaFleur at Ladd tonight, 14-7. Right now, Fairhope trailing Daphne, Davidson and Murphy, Foley and Baker tonight in West Mobile, Robertsdale and Citronelle, Gulf Shores and Spanish Fort. That game was canceled. Spanish Fort playing Park Crossing in a game. Both teams just wanted to get a game. It won't count in the standings, but Spanish Fort able to get a game to host Park Crossing tonight. Poor Blunt, that's their 3rd game in a row that's been canceled as they were supposed to take on Baldwin County. Alberta and Faith Academy, Williamson and St. Paul's tonight. Bayside looking to stay undefeated, looking to go 3-0 and start the year with 3 straight road wins. They go to Excel. Chickasaw tonight. You see Clark County and Greene County, Orange Beach and Leroy canceled. St. Luke's and Washington County playing, and a whole host of other games here on week 3.
McGill being overwhelmed by Saraland tonight.
Tight formation quarterback sneak, and Green has his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night. And McGill about them find themselves down by 3 scores here, just a minute 46 into the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, McGill's got no answers right up front, Jim. They're just getting pushed around. That defensive line not ready to go, not ready to compete against the Saraland offense. And that quarterback, he may be one of the reasons that they play so well. They play so hard.
Alexander with the PAT. And it's 21-0 in favor of Saraland here. And you have to think a little bit about just how advantage you have right now of already having played a game like Saraland has. McGill playing the first game here tonight. We look at what 6A Region 1 looks like down here tonight. So you got Spanish Fort, they're 0-2. Blunt has had to forfeit 2 games. They'll get a win tonight as the game they were supposed to have is a forfeit. But you kind of look there, you got Saraland, you got McGill, you got Blunt, you got Spanish Fort. Those are the 4 teams you really expect to be battling it for playoff spots.
Yep. I mean, a great top end, right?
Yep. And Robertsdale, though, off to a great start. They're 2-0 on the year. So we'll see some great battles.
Yeah, we've talked about this region for the last several years, almost like McGill maybe didn't have it as tough in 7A,
right,
quite frankly. And Saraland is saying, welcome to 6A. How do you like it so far?
And I thought Jeff Kelly brought up a great point. He's like, whoever came out of this region in the playoffs from down here after beating each other up, really had a chance to make a run. And then you look and say, oh, yeah, Spanish Fort last year, They didn't have a great regular season. They went to the championship game.
Right.
And you go back 2018, we saw what happened in 6A there. Then you had Saraland there, then Saraland back there. And 2014, I mean, it's just, it's a pipeline, but you just got to survive the 11-week regular season and then get through the parts of the playoffs.
It really is survival physically, survival as far as win-loss record.
So it's time a flag against Saraland, so they'll have to kick off once again. Daphne now up to a 21-7 lead at home over Fairhope in a big 7A Region 1 matchup across the bay.
Well, right now we can only dream of 21-7.
Yeah, Jordan Mosley. There's a flag back at the 29-yard line.
Plenty of those.
So McGill was going to have pretty good field position. You would think this one's going to go against the Yellow Jackets.
They just have to find something offensively, Jim. They've just really been throttled by this Saraland defense. If you think the score looks like it's been domination, it has.
And McGill just hasn't run very many plays on offense.
Nope.
Kick, got a block in the back on the receiving team. Be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Be first down.
The McConnell Collision Center flag on the play. Now, but you kind of want to stay a little bit within your game plan, and so early in the game, but you're thinking, too, boy, our defense doesn't have much to slow them down. Reynolds, there's a little positive action all the way out
to
the 34.
And I'll say this, there were plays in their drives, or at least their possessions earlier, that McGill was able to block very well. So I think you're right, Jim. I think it's don't panic, get a helmet on somebody, let's get some first downs.
Like they did there, up to the 34. Right back, McReynolds. He's got another one up to the 47. This is a player that Ernest Hill mentioned in the pregame, said we hope to see him get going early in this one, and now back-to-back first down runs for the junior. Right back to him on the right side.
Goodness, the way he came down, I hope he's all right.
Pops right back up.
Good thing for him is getting to the ground is not far for McReynolds.
5'8".
He's tough.
Williams and Dalton doing a good job over there on the right side to open up some holes. And Harbin splits out to the bottom of the screen. Matched up against Butler. Play action now. Arsenault keeps it right to the middle of that Spartan defense, and that was quickly shut down.
If you're familiar with the Mobile parishes and their CYO setup, he was a product of St. Dominic's. I think our buddy Pat Greenwood from South Alabama coached Arsenault as a kid.
Yep, basketball and football. And up the middle, McReynolds going to get a first down. Thrown down. McAlpine brought him down. A flag on the play.
They're excited for the way that kid is responding. Boy, I tell you what, just like Saraland, that is some great blocking up front by McGill. And right now, you'd think I think it was bringing him down by the helmet.
Yeah.
It's a 15-yard penalty with a yardage for first down.
That's a 15-yard face mask.
They might play action here, but man, they've got to like the way that offensive line is blocking right now. Down 21, they can't afford to not make this culminate in a touchdown.
All the way down to the 24. Will Taylor takes the handoff and turns the corner, and he'll pick up 9. Taylor, one of the best baseball players in the state of Alabama.
Right, nice nugget there. I like that. Of course, McGill-Toolen, winner of a state championship recently in 7A in baseball.
picks up 8.
See if things get tougher to move closer they get to inside the red zone.
Overload the right side. Arsenault, the senior, gives it off, and McReynolds goes that way. He's to the 10. Looks like they brought in Tony Inge, the sophomore there, and Inge with the carry. A good one as well as he gets it to the 10. First and goal here for the Yellow Jackets. Boy, they gotta punch this in for 7 here.
They really do. They really do. And this has been a great answer. The answer just came a little late. 21-0 Saraland in the first half, about getting close to halfway through the second period.
Mosley and Millsap, a couple of big targets. Harbin on the outside as well to the bottom of the screen. Play clock at 5. Arsenault going to have to hurry, and there was movement up front on the offensive line. And first and goal from the 15.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
McGill-Toolen center flag on the play there. Don't make the wrong call after an accident. Call McGill-Toolen Center to the home of the invisible repair. That movement on the offensive line was not so invisible, hence the
sadly not for McGill.
McGill-Toolen flag. And now a hard count, and they'll get it back. Good work there by Arsenault. Darrington was maybe a little aggressive there. You have the right to tell your insurance company who repairs your vehicle. Tell them you want McGill-Toolen Center.
Prior to the snap, that encroachment on the defense, it's a 5-yard penalty, still playing first down.
And if they argue, throw a flag on them. So back to the 10 for the Yellow Jackets. McReynolds back in behind Spencer Arsenault. Pair receivers up top. Arsenault pitches out of the backfield. McReynolds tried to turn the corner and got pushed out at the 5.
Talking to Coach Hill before the game, asking him who needed to play well, who maybe was a young guy that hadn't really had to perform on the playing field, and he mentioned a couple of younger offensive linemen in Manis and also Colin Dalton. They're playing well now.
McReynolds grinds it down to the 1, and 3rd and goal coming up here for the Jackets.
If 2-down territory ever existed in our lifetime.
I was thinking about that.
Penetration.
Give, spin, nowhere to go. Saraland was in there as McAlpine was the first one there.
Boy,
so you go backwards. You go from the 1 back to the 5.
Such a big play there.
And it had no chance.
No, not from the get-go because of the penetration. You say that was McAlpine? No. Wow, what a play.
So 4th and goal back at the 5. Now, there's a flag there. I did not see the flag. Dan Brennan.
I just wonder how he got back there so quickly. Oh, after the play. And it might have been.
Palmer Williams was asking for it, unsportsmanlike.
The distance to the goal. Since it being a dead ball foul, it'll be 4th down.
Wow.
So half the distance, so they get it back to about just outside the 2.
Okay, so they factored in the loss on the play.
And now we'll take a heat timeout here, and a big play coming up here. 21-0 McGill-Toolen. 4th and goal from the 2. Saraland with the lead, and McGill trying to claw back into this one on Friday Night Rivals. Here we go, Dan Brennan. 4th and goal. McGill from just outside the 2. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan. Jared Kihos and our entire crew here from UTV 44 on Friday Night Rivals in Saraland, Alabama. Arsenault, the give on the left side, stopped short. McReynolds got to the one before he was turned aside.
That guy's also an ex-quarterback.
Elijah Johnson moved up to linebacker this year. Yep,
he played quarterback at his previous school up the road. And Kelly was like, well, we got quarterback handled. You mind linebacker? He's like, no, that's fine.
So week 1 against Theodore. Theodore had it first and goal from the 7. Saraland turned away on 4 plays. And now they do it to McGill from the 10.
You know, they just did right there what McGill has not been doing well, Jim. That was a heck of a tackle. And part of the problem with what McGill's been dealing with has been their own inefficiency in getting people down to the ground. You can see what Carson with a K, Green, is doing tonight. Pretty good.
Yeah, just had the 1 incomplete, 97 yards. Touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns. Both of them have been quarterback sneaks, and now he'll snap this one from his own end zone and looking to air it out, firing it over the middle of the field. And incomplete as he was looking for York. Now the flag's going to come there, and that'll be pass interference, and that'll get him out from the shadows of their own goalpost there.
Okay. So, referee was a lot closer than me. Let's watch. Oh, another good throw by Green. What do you see?
I didn't see anything there. Maybe saying a little bit about the hand around the waist was maybe the only thing you saw, but it didn't impede him. And see if they maybe pick it up.
That was a tough call. If they go with it, that's a tough call and a big out.
Yeah, and you know,
out of jail card for Saraland.
Didn't hear. I think they might be going to wave it off. Did not hear. You didn't really hear the Saraland. You know, a lot of times you'll hear them
screaming.
Yeah, yeah. And that you didn't really hear all that. And let's hear.
Pass interference on the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty. With the yardage, it'd be a first down.
Prescott's a good athlete, but he's a little guy, so they went to pick on him, and he was in good position.
Yeah, especially on the replay there, you just didn't see much.
He's got a circle around him at
now they'll
under 5'7".
They'll switch him on the sides, and they'll bring Braden Turner over to the bottom of the screen, and he'll line up against Williams.
How about a quarterback draw, Jim? Just a hunch.
He's been pretty good on the calls so far here tonight. Now he's going to keep slinging it, and Williams had to go through his hands. Intercepted. Turner, who came over and switched sides of the field to guard him, picked it off, and it's first down. Yellow Jackets inside the 20, a break they needed.
Yeah, it looked like a throw on the money again. This kid's been on the money all night. It looked like it was about to be a great catch. It turned into a great interception instead. Wow, a great interception.
Turner, we said, had just swapped out with Prescott after the penalty on Prescott, and he came over to guard Williams, and that one just went through his hands. Now, a good ball awareness by Turner, who's a heck of a player and got great hands. He's on their kick return team.
Oh, it was just a fabulous play of concentration and physical ability.
Give it again to Taylor. Taylor
gets swallowed up.
Yeah, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Not much there. Willis Wilcox watching the game here tonight is UMS right. Bulldogs played on Thursday night, so he gets the rare Friday night home, and he's not going to miss a Friday Night Rivals broadcast. Reynolds in the backfield. Arsenault looks left far side. Get that one off to Mosley. Saraland's did a good job on him tonight. Mosley picks up about 7. We'll bring up a 3rd and 3. And again, you got to think 2-down territory here.
2-down territory, so look for them to run it here, you would guess. They've got to chip away and get it with 2 plays. They'll take it.
Arsenault rolls out, steps up in the pocket, now dances the outside. He's got the first down, maybe more. He does. Spencer Arsenault with a rushing touchdown.
At what point in that play, Jim, did you think, oh, he's got this figured out?
Ooh, I thought he had a chance to cut it back inside and would pick up the first down for sure, and instead bounces it outside.
This is another very confident quarterback, confident athlete, right? Watch him move.
Yeah, going to keep going inside instead, outside, and with a little moxie as he crosses the goal line there.
Oh, it was really cool how the two quarterbacks, I don't know if they'd ever met before. Maybe they had, but how they
got together in the pregame show and had a good talk. Shine with a PAT, and McGill takes advantage of the turnover, and they get on the board, and boy, did they need it. They were down big, and they cut the lead to 14. Arsenault with the scramble and the score. Tipped interception went off the hands of Williams, and then Turner came up with it, and it didn't take long. Arsenault on third down here scrambles in and gets McGill on the board. And now I thought you made a good point there, Dan. So they get on the board, maybe get a little momentum, but now the defense has got to do something for them. They came up with a turnover there. Now see if they can stop them and get like a 3 and out and get a chance to get back in it even more.
They haven't yet, and even with Saraland's offense shooting themselves in the foot a few times, they've just been so good at their play selection, spreading things out, not just running downhill at you like a few years ago. This is a team that does a lot of finesse and malice.
Pooches it and nearly recovered by McGill as that thing just died at about the 35. And Saraland was rushing up, and Turner was over there super close to getting on that one again. All right. Hadn't even been so busy, hadn't a chance to get a trivia. And McGill-Toolen, they've won 10 straight season openers. Who was the last team to beat them to open the season?
Somebody really good.
Yes. And McGill was really, let's say, surprised at that week one with defeat. We'll tell you about that in the second half. Green back out there.
Ooh.
Darrington. Well, they got some depth, too. You know, you got Crawford, then you bring Darrington over.
Yeah, Darrington's just a football player, you know.
Kick the onside kick. Linebacker.
A couple of Darringtons that are good football players on this team. And then you got that guy quarterback. Keep an eye on him.
Picks up 7. Good penetration by Freddie Davis.
You know, that's what I was thinking, Jim. One thing that we've seen for years from McGill, they really actively penetrate and they are able to affect the quarterback, for instance. That time, Davis does a nice job of wedging in there, coming off the edge, actually, and knocking that thing down. Big third down now. McGill might be able to get it back.
Again, Davis, the converted linebacker from quarterback. 3rd and 7. Green over the middle. That one tipped as he tried to get to York, and that one was thrown a little high, and he had a swarm of Yellow Jackets around him, and now we see the 3 and out.
He had to get it over the linebackers, and they're dropping right there, so understandably, he had to get some air under it.
Mosley was working as well, and now
Jackets get it back, Jim, and they've got some time, or will have some time when they get it, and let's see how the return works out.
Turner back to return it, and now Jack Smith. 6'5", 215-pound punter.
He got our attention pregame.
Good snap. He was booming him super high. Turner was going to call for a fair catch. Lets it bounce, and it took a McGill bounce, but at the 41. Matthew Milner able to down it there, but good field position for the Jackets. Hey, you can reach out to us. We're getting text up here in the booth. Get some updates from the Daphne Fairhope game as well, but you can drop us an email, hey guys at utv44.com, and we'll be glad to answer those questions.
We're not doing anything.
Yeah.
My phone's blowing up just with text.
I mean, usually the viewers stump us as well. Like I'm just like, Jared, I don't know. I can't answer that.
Please make it a very easy question, and we thank you.
How would you like me to answer that, Jared? Besides, I don't know. A flag pre-snap. And I think Saraland lined up offside on this one, so it'll be 1st and 5.
You notice we named it. That's just right here. Yeah.
The 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
We named it Hey guys, and not Ask the Experts. That was by design.
We'd have gotten no emails if we tried to bill it that way. 27-10, Daphne leads Fairhope in the first half. Pressure coming. Arsenault dropped back to the 35-yard line.
Well, that's a buzzkill. McGill feeling good about themselves to get the ball back.
Peyton Smith, the senior.
Yeah, linebacker coming in, little penetration. They're saying, you're not just going to be able to do what you want to do, or we'll make you uncomfortable back there.
So they lose 8 on the sack. So they approach 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Fires it to the far side, and picking up a couple. Mosley there, and coaches love to talk about the 2-for-1. So do cliche-ridden play-by-play guys like me. McGill's going to get it to start the second half, so if they could go down here and get a score.
Now we got something.
Yes. But you got to convert here on 3rd and long with 1:53 left. They haven't gone Millsap's way. He's in the slot, 6'2", number 10 up top of the screen for McGill. Arsenault looks, intercepted. Picked off by Elijah Johnson up the sideline, and he's brought down at the 17.
Yeah, well, the former quarterback knew what to do when the ball was in his hands. But first you have to get it in your hands. And that's a good side. He was a big quarterback, wherever he was.
6'2", 215.
Yeah. Arsenault? Boy, Johnson just stepped right in, didn't he?
Read his eyes the whole way.
Amazing for a linebacker. I guess that quarterback play, he just put himself in that mindset, read the mind and the eyes of Arsenault, stepped right in, and Arsenault never saw him coming across.
Wow, he had a fumble recovery in week 1, and now he has the interception tonight. And now Saraland at the 21. Crawford.
Wow. Good running and poor tackling on the McGill side, Jim. I mean, quite frankly, there's contact. He wants it more than them.
Freddie Davis finally wrapped him up and brought him down up before he got to the 16. So 2nd and 5. As we approach a minute to go for Saraland. Now they'll come to the near side. Crawford turns the corner, and a handful of Jersey will shove him down. Good hustle over there by Jaden Mosley.
3rd down now, but they're close.
That looked like Crawford was going to get to the edge, but Mosley closed that gap quickly.
Nice to have an athlete on your side.
And with 3rd down coming up, good chance to tell us who drives this broadcast. Mullinex Ford. Thanks for being here on Friday Night Rivals down here on the Gulf Coast. 3rd down here for the Spartans. They go right back to Crawford up the middle, and he's down to the 10. And the ball came out at the end of that play, and McGill's got it.
Wow.
Came out at the end, and Javon Edwards ends up with it. Crawford spun away. It was going to have the 1st down.
Big break for McGill. It'd have been 1st and either 10 or goal right around the 10-yard line.
So back-to-back turnovers by Saraland here. Let's watch Crawford. Still got it there, and then couldn't really see in the pile of bodies. It's there.
See where it came out. Where is it exactly? Okay, right in front of him.
Ooh. I mean, you're thinking they score there, this might be over. Instead, McGill gets it back. Arsenault. Lots of room on the right side, still looking to go downfield, and he's going to get dropped at the 10, and there's a flag for a hold back at the 4.
Saraland had 3 defenders back, as it turned out, near the 50-yard line. He didn't have a lot of options there.
Sean Kelly's going to tell us about
On
the
the
hold.
offense.
Yep.
It's half the distance to the goal. Be first down.
Saraland's got a couple of timeouts left, and now with them pinned back like here, you start to think about, all right, well, maybe we'll get one more shot.
Yep.
We can get a stop.
Yeah, once I saw those 2 timeouts, I was thinking the same thing. McGill needs to just get out of here with their life now.
Arsenault gives it off. McReynolds across the 10, still on his feet, spins, and he's going to be up to the 17. And
saw a little running back like Williamson a couple of weeks ago.
yes,
Very reminiscent, right?
Yep.
Tough guy, quick.
Arsenault in no hurry here, and I think you're right, Dan Brennan. They're just maybe just snap this one more time, and might not even have to. It's about a second differential between the game clock and play clock. So they're not going to have to snap it. And that'll bring the first half to a close. 21-7, Saraland with the lead. 2 late turnovers there. An interception by McGill and then a fumble recovery by McGill, which did the defense a great job to really keep them in this game.
I think when Jeff Kelly, when we speak to him here at halftime, hopefully we'll catch him before he's going to, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not talking about the missed opportunities for his team to do even more.
Coach Kelly down there with us. Coach got off to the great start. Had to be super excited how this started, but Dan Brennan just saying as a coach, you might be thinking about some missed opportunities there late.
Yeah, we had some missed opportunities, had a couple turnovers there, had some penalty things that we got to get fixed. Got off to a good start. McGill's a good football team. It's going to be a full game. 48 minutes. We knew it. We kind of got out of rhythm when our running back had to come out for a couple drives there, but we should be back ready to roll second half.
Yeah, I know that you were talking to me on Sunday saying that, Dan, we're a little more finesse this year. We'd like to spread it out. We've got some good, we've got a really good quarterback and some good wideouts. But to me, it was kind of like salt and pepper. You ran the ball really well. You trapped up front and moved that McGill defense back. It was pretty impressive.
We had a couple good drives, but we got to get back to it. We got a lot of work. We kind of had a chance to put our foot down there in the second quarter, and he left it a little closer than we should have. So but we got a ball game.
All right, Coach, get back there to your team. Thanks for taking time to talk with us. Jeff Kelly, head coach of the Saraland Spartans. His team at home here tonight on top by a score of 21-7. We'll come back halftime here in Saraland after this on Friday Night Rivals. Jim Cox and Dan Brennan, our entire Friday Night Rivals crew here in Saraland, Alabama tonight. Saraland, home team on top 21-7 over McGill-Toolen. And each week we vote on you, the viewer, actually, is the one who votes on the player of the game. Last week we had Williamson taking on Faith Academy, and Faith Academy came back to win that one late by a score of 15-14. A very talented player who a lot of schools are interested in from all across the country in the SEC, Shamar James. And he was our winner in this one. He's a wide receiver, 6'3". He's a defensive end at 6'3". You don't see that all that often. And
they allow him to stay 6'3" both ways.
And they like to get him the ball and try to get it to him in space. And he was here, made some big plays on defense as well, but really was the biggest play in the game late in this contest as we see the lankiness out there and able to help seal off the edge and force players out of bounds because he's you got those long arms and big strides.
And the ability to shadow a talented quarterback, and watch him. He's a two-way player for sure.
And had to grind it out against a Williamson team who's so great, but he got the 2-point conversion at the end of the game that won it late. And
I mean, if somehow he doesn't make it to the game, Faith Academy doesn't win it.
Yep, Herc Rentals, one of the leading equipment rental suppliers with over 275 locations in North America. They do everything: commercial, residential, industrial, manufacturing, everything you could want to do, even do-it-yourselfers like Dan Brennan on the weekend. They got him covered. Tools, whatever he needs. Herc Rentals brings you our player of the game every week. At the end of tonight's contest, you'll be able to go to utd44.com to vote, and we'll tell you next week at halftime of UMS and St. Paul's who the player of the game was tonight.
The Spartan sound is under the field leadership of drum majors Abigail Shields and Mason Spencer. Drum majors, is the band ready?
Halftime here at Saraland, 21-7. The home team Spartans on top of McGill-Toolen in a 6A matchup here in Lower Alabama. We've got great high school football being played all across the country, and we got a chance to take a look at some highlights from other Friday Night Rivals games from all across the land.
Welcome back to the show. Here's 2019's best of the best.
First down here for Franklin. Trying to reach the stretch red zone. Now Burkett flushed out of the pocket. Comes back near side. Back over the middle. And it is incomplete. Oh, it's juggled and caught. Touchdown, Franklin. My goodness. It comes off the foot and into the hands of Arndt.
Here's Fleming once again, trying to get to the edge and upfield, and he will! Brandon Fleming! He's still on his feet, inbounds, diving to the pylon! Line view. Still in. Still in.
He's in.
Dancing down the sideline.
It's 4th and 17. Game on the line. Beam looks downfield, delivers that pass, caught, and into the end zone. Touchdown.
This Fjord kid is a special talent, too. High kick, backs him up to the 15, runs up to catch it, breaks a tackle, breaks 2 to the 30, and Chuck, you called it across the 40, still on his feet. Fjord across midfield, he breaks free. Fjord to the house, touchdown, champion, Chargers.
Quick hitter out to Martin. Martin has it jarred loose by Gerardo. It's picked up out of midair by Devin Mills.
Hey, look at Saraland. Hey, one good thing as we look at those highlights, it might be hard to tell, but here at Saraland, every other row of bleachers has actually been removed. Not bleachers, the seats. They actually, when we walked up here, they've taken all the seats out.
And as far as the bleachers, too, so the seat bottoms have been removed, so they're not in the chair back seats. And as far as the rest of the bleacher area, every other row is blocked off, so they're doing their job.
Yep. Halftime here in Saraland, 21-7. Spartans on top. They jumped out to a big lead early, and they had some turnovers late that kept McGill in this one, and McGill get the ball back here. And every week we get a chance to tell you about our Scholastic Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Andy Citron Injury Attorneys. This week it's Brady Turner from Saraland, 33 on the ACT and 44 GPA. He's ranked number 7 in a class of 240, National Honor Society, Student Council, Weight Training Award, Youth Leader. As well, he's going to go to Auburn, and he's majoring in medicine. So congratulations to Brady Turner and, of course, Andy Citron Injury Attorneys. Also going to award one of our weekly Scholastic athletes a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season here. So Brady Turner, congratulations. You are one of the finalists now for that scholarship of $5,000.
Very possibly in my withering years, I'll visit Dr. Turner for a checkup and see if he can do anything about that limb.
Dan Brennan, Mr. Turner, Dr. Turner, you have a patient already when you finish up at med school.
I'm already in the waiting room.
21-7, Saraland on top here at the half. You're from other parts of Alabama and traveling down I-65 to maybe head to the beach or somewhere, and hey, look at the left, like that beautiful stadium right across the way there on the east side. This is it, Saraland, Alabama. Saraland High School in a spectacular facility here to watch a high school football game. We're doing it here tonight. 6A matchup, Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, as McGill-Toolen, as we said, dropped down from 7A this year into 6A. And so tonight, their first matchup of the season. And it's been a tough go of it early on here for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, you talk about spectacular. The Saraland offense and defense, for that matter, the first, quarter and a half, they were pretty spectacular and hard to stop.
Saraland jumped out early on this one, and we talked a lot about Carson Green and found C.T. Engelbert his second touchdown of the season, then the first of 2 QB sneaks for touchdowns for Saraland. That put them on top 21-0, and then a deflection on a turnover gave McGill good field position, and they took advantage as Spencer Arsenault scrambled here on third down to get McGill on the board 21-7. And total yards, Saraland over 200 in the first half, 100 in the air, and almost that much on the ground as well. And McGill has really not been able to do much rushing the ball, just 37 yards. And a couple of turnovers there by Saraland late hurt him. The fumble when it looked like they were going to go in and make this a 28-7 game.
I think we were both a little bit surprised by how physical Saraland was, especially that offensive line. They were able, and of course, the line blocked well, but Crawford at running back ran really hard too. So they had it going on. And when you spread things out like they're able to with the talented wide receivers, Carson Green has his pick, and we can see Carson Green is more than a fine new quarterback for them. He may be really good before this season is done. His stats may look pretty amazing.
Threw for 4 touchdowns in week 1. He's got 1 here tonight.
And 2 rushing.
2 on the ground. 21-7 is our score. McGill-Toolen will get it to start the third quarter here. Halftime's taking a little longer because they have certain protocols about teams leaving the field, bands coming on the field. And hey, hats off to the Saraland band. What a performance they put on here at the half. A very today type performance. And
a lot of songs from the past, but the theme was all about
togetherness,
living together, and well done, well thought out, well performed.
All right, we'll take our final break here and then come back and start quarter number 3. Friday Night Rivals here on UTV 44. Saraland matching up against McGill-Toolen. They're on top 21-7. Finally about ready to get started here in the second half, week 3 of the high school football season. Here on UTV 44 and Friday Night Rivals, Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, David Sharp, our statistician, Jared Kihas in the truck with our entire great UTV 44 crew. They said it was a hot one today. They got up here about 9 o'clock and setting up all day, all the cameras, all the stuff, cables, all the stuff that they do. Said it was a scorcher here in LA today.
It was. I'm sure the heat index was above 100 again today, but no rain to really talk about in the Mobile Baldwin County area anyway that I saw. So we were good to go. We knew that night would fall and cool off a little bit, and what a spectacular place to watch a game and for these kids on the field to play the game and for us to have a chance to televise so you all can enjoy it at home. This is a great place.
Yep. Welcome those of you watching this on Saturday on Stadium all across the country as well. Getting a little peek in here of what high school football is like in South Alabama. Darrington with the kick and out to the 37 for the Jackets as Will Taylor, the up man there, and more of our friends bring us high school football every Friday. Andy Citron Injury Attorneys giving away a $5,000 scholarship to a Scholastic athlete at the end of this season.
Great. Generous.
Yes, and we couldn't have penalties without McConnell Collision Center. So we thank them for that. We'd like to have the penalties when they're duly called. So
they got a lot of mention in the first half, didn't they?
Thank you, McConnell Collision Center, for being a part of Friday Night Rivals.
This makes sense, running the football again, because this is when McGill was able to manage an offense. They were able to establish some run. Now, the run numbers weren't great in the first half, but they blocked pretty well on several plays until they got kind of backwards and down in distance and also turned the ball over. So reestablishing the run I think is key for McGill. They're in the ball game.
And again, should point out it's week 3 of the high school football season, but the first game of the year for McGill.
Right.
2 open weeks to start the season.
Well, they didn't even show up till it was 21-0.
Play fake. Arsenault rolls out and moved dangerous. That went behind his intended receiver in 3rd and 7. Going to come up. Is lurking around there is Torrente Hinton.
Elijah Johnson, also the linebacker that had a pick in the first half, wasn't too far behind himself.
Yep.
He's the linebacker with the quarterback sensibilities. He used to play QB, and it looks like he can read a pass route pretty well.
I wonder if he'll get any grief from his teammates by being tackled by the quarterback when he was taking that interception back in.
Looking at Elijah, I would not try to give him grief about anything.
Arsenault tried to set up the screen. It was knocked up in the air, picked off, touchdown. Braxton Hughes. That came off the screen attempt. It got tipped. Hughes grabbed it. The second interception by a linebacker from Saraland tonight.
Boy, this defense pretty aggressive here right off the bat. Not letting Arsenault, of course, they're letting him in with the screen, but it's just a great play by Hughes.
Came off the thigh of Arsenault and perfect form by Hughes. Got both hands up to try to bat the pass down. He did. It goes off Arsenault's leg and right back into the hands of Hughes. He had a sack in week 1. He forced a fumble. And now in week 3, he's got a pick 6.
Yeah, part of the design of the screen is to allow defenders to come on in so they're out of place once the ball is completed.
So there was a penalty flag all the way back up at the 40-yard line. I wonder if it's going to be. So wait a minute here. It's going to be a. So it was dropped like it was maybe a sideline. We saw a sideline warning. And I wonder if it's going to be a sideline penalty.
There's a sideline. On the sideline, Saraland sideline. A 5-yard penalty. They chose to take it on the kick.
Okay.
That one's a little easier to accept on a pick 6.
Or whatever you call that. Great athletic play by Hughes.
And Alexander with the PAT, and it is 28-7, a minute 3 into the 3rd. And
well, exactly what McGill needed to do. It all turned upside down and backwards as Saraland scores one on defense.
You can see here's what Saraland's schedule. So big, impressive. So they're 3 non-region games this year, all against 7A schools. Theodore, they won week 1. They decided not to travel up to Hewitt-Trussville last week. They didn't feel it was safe just to travel, make the trip, and so it'll go as a forfeit unless they can maybe get that game rescheduled week 10. But then you see they got McGill tonight, a 7A school. Then they've got a Davidson matchup coming up later in the year as well, and so
tucked in there also, Jim, that team of Mystery Blunt. They haven't taken the field yet in an official game, and the word preseason was they were loaded.
Yes, they had to forfeit their first 2 games because of COVID within their school, and then they were supposed to play tonight against Gulf Shores. Gulf Shores has to forfeit their game because of COVID, so Blunt's going to be a month into the schedule before they play their first game. You know, those young men are just, they're tired of practicing right now.
No kidding. In this heat?
Yep. So now Saraland to kick off again, and this one squibs on the ground up to the 16. Eager. Oh, the 30 lost his helmet and mouthpiece. Might have been the Saraland player who came over and made the tackle there that lost his helmet and mouthpiece. As Justin Roberson, the DB, had that one popped off. All right, now if you're Arsenault, you gotta have some next play mentality here and try to put that one behind you.
Yeah. Roberson's going to have to sit this play out because of the helmet coming off on the contact. And you're right about Arsenault and this whole team. See if Saraland starts to bring people just to kind of rub it in. Force McGill.
This one before the snap.
Prior to the snap, that illegal procedure against the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
See the frustration of Will Taylor, who caught that quick, call it a screen on the outside. He may have thought they had it set up pretty well, but Jackets behind the sticks again.
1st and 15, Arsenault. Reynolds. Wrapped up. Braxton Hughes in there again. Pate Smith there for Saraland.
McGill putting a lot on the shoulders of the 5'8", 170-pound junior Braylon McReynolds. He's been up to the task, but boy, they need some contributions otherwise.
Yeah, I think the talented receiver core that they have, we haven't heard much from tonight.
Jordan Mosley been bottled up so far. Arsenault distracted by defenders getting in his face.
But you also talked about the two great corners on this Saraland team. Back to McReynolds, trying to get to the corner. Little jump step at the 40. He's across the 45, and he'll have a first down. Speaking of McGill-Toolen receivers, we have to bring up South Alabama's big win in Hattiesburg last night. Jalen Tolbert, one local radio announcer, appointed him, anointed him All-American this morning. Of course, he played at McGill and had the big night last night to lead the Jags to a huge road victory against Southern Miss.
I'm a little excitable on the air, but it was time to start that campaign.
Bottled up by the front three of the Spartans there, no gain. But yeah, big win for South Alabama. Of course, University of South Alabama located right in the heart of Mobile, Alabama. And
did they look good or what?
Wow, just offense came out, and McReynolds is really grinding it out, 89 yards.
He's been the guy from McGill.
Taylor comes over to the slot on the near side. It's 2nd and 10. Millsap goes in motion. They'll go to him and they'll get maybe 2 on 2nd down and bring up 3rd and long here for the Jackets.
Jeff Kelly gave me a heads up. He said, well, our back end defensively really good. I think McGill's finding that out tonight. Did a great job on Mosley, the University of Tennessee commit. He hasn't been exactly completely silent, I don't believe, but he hasn't made a big impact yet.
No. 3rd and 9. Arsenault looks over the middle of the field, and he's able to get that one complete. He's going to be just a little short of the first down, as that is Mosley.
There he is.
But he's going to be a yard short of the sticks.
Better than nothing, Jim. They've got a shot at a first down here and in Saraland territory.
Arsenault was going there the whole time. Just kind of went down.
Arsenault with a clean pocket.
Yep. So here we go, 4th. And a yard. McReynolds stopped. There's a flag on the far side. They had stopped him. Referee Sean Kelly. So the spots maybe a little closer. Procedure against So, yep. They're gonna measure
it first,
if they're short, of course, then they'll decline the penalty and take the football. I thought he was short.
He's short. He's a good bit short.
So they get the football to make the stop. They don't need.
We had a legal formation on the offense at 5 in the backfield. Saraland has declined the penalty. The distance was short, so Saraland will take over. First down.
There's going to have to be a whole lot of things go wrong for Saraland not to get the ball there after they stop there on 4th down.
Good explanation, too, by Sean Kelly.
Yep. And see Colton Beasley, big number 78, leading that offensive line out there. They've done a good job of keeping his jersey clean tonight.
Yep.
Carson Green hasn't faced a lot of pressure. Beasley, 3-year starter, 6'4", 295, moved over to the left side this year. York, jab step at midfield, and he'll get 6.
This offense has just developed way beyond what McGill's is to this point of the season. Would you not agree?
I totally agree. And
a lot of toys in the toy box, and this quarterback working with this team for the first year that he's the guy behind center, Carson Green, and he looks very comfortable with the weapons around him.
Crawford, big hole up the middle. Crawford's got a first down to the 37. He'll pick up 13.
Then there's this. This guy is great when he feels contact, but too often tonight he hasn't felt any contact till he's 8, 9, 10 yards downfield with that great trap blocking up front.
Josh Dunham and Braxton Weatherby did a good job to open that one up. We approach the halfway point of the 3rd and drop that snap and quickly just fell on it. And Green says, yeah, that one was on me.
It's a pretty confident offense, Jim, and you're in that spot of the field again where if you feel good about things, you might want to try one over the top.
See Green, it's felt like he's put the ball in the air more than 10 times tonight, but just 8 of 10 and over 100 yards and looking for more here. Floats it down the near side. And
the first time he was way off was that throw right there.
But good coverage too on Williams, and stride for stride back there with him was Braden Turner. And since they made that switch, they brought Turner over to go match up against Williams. It's been a little tougher to get the ball to Williams, and Turner had the interception off his hands.
Yeah, Prescott was giving up a lot of size, and they said no more of that. He also got flagged for what seemed to be at the time a questionable pass interference. But just the optics of Prescott trying to go one-on-one against Williams didn't look good.
3rd and long. Screen. Engelbert has it. Got a good block up front. And we get to the 35, but still going to leave him about 7 short of the first down.
He's a good player that's never going to hurt you. How he feels the game and really a nice piece to this overall offense in Engelbert.
4th and 7 and no hesitation here from Jeff Kelly. They're going for it.
He's got good hands.
From the 35, yeah, Engelbert's got the touchdown tonight. Had one in week 1. And we'll get our heat timeout. 4th down coming up here. 4th and 7. Halfway through the 3rd, Saraland still on top of McGill-Toolen. Big here at home on Friday Night Rivals. Jeff Kelly in his 10th year here at Saraland. Came here in their 2nd year in existence, and he loves it here. Loves it.
Built quite a program, quite a school system.
4th and 7. Green steps up with some patience, and Pesher as well, and he gets it off complete to Williams. He's got the first down. Williams inside the 10, 5, 1st and goal, Sparty.
You got a quarterback that has pressure come right at his face. Didn't flinch.
Stepped up.
Throws it accurately to a really good athlete and wide receiver. This is a lot of team to try and slow down, Jim. A lot of good players. Coached very well.
Williams with the 30-yard reception. And now it's first and goal at the 5. Crawford behind Green. Takes the give on the right side. Who got tripped up a little bit behind his own lineman, then cuts it back, and he's in for the Saraland touchdown.
This one now completely out of hand. Kept thinking that McGill was going to counterpunch and get it closer, and instead it's gone the other way after the interception on the screen pass for a touchdown. And look at the drive and look at the help from your big friends behind you. And it's a touchdown for Saraland.
Crawford with the score. And we got a... let's... Beasley slow to get up. Oh, it looks like just... Luckily, it looks like just cramps. And Big Senior will hop up. Saw his mom, Stacy, before the game. I've known his mom a long time, and she's proud of that young man.
That big young man.
And it's not a new thing either. He's kind of been that way since he was just a little guy.
He was a big little guy.
Yeah, you don't just get that big, mid-high school. You've been kind of trending that way for a long time.
I do understand.
Alexander with the PAT. He's been perfect tonight. Stays that way. 35-7 Saraland. A very impressive performance here tonight, halfway through the third. And I'll tell you about more of our friends. Bring you high school football every Friday night. The Greers been around since 1916, serving our area here. And Barrow Fine Furniture. Appreciate them again being a part of Friday Night Rivals here on UTV 44. This McGill team, just one loss last year in the second round of the playoffs. 7 plays, 57 yards. Crawford with a touchdown, a little over 2.5 minutes for Saraland. Yeah, McGill got shut out 26-0 last year in round 2 of the playoffs. And bouncing kick, and McGill falls on that quickly there. That was Mosley, and he's a little banged up.
Man.
Just trying to think about. It's been a long time since we've seen a McGill team down by this many points. All right, so trivia question. McGill, this streak appears it's going to come to an end tonight. They've won their last 10 straight openers. Who was the last team to beat them in an opening game?
The only one I remember, but I thought it was further back, was UMS Wright. But in my mind, that was further back than 10 years ago, but let's see.
We were there, 2009. UMS Wright, 31-10.
Ah, wow.
Inside.
I do remember that game, though.
Yes, and that was McGill was very surprised at the outcome of that game, and UMS was proud. We got a question from someone in the Midwest watching the game online tonight, and just asking how we keep up with the stats of teams and information we get and other things as McReynolds will spin. And first thing is technology is a big help, but really it all comes down to the tremendous cooperation we get from the coaches to provide us with information getting ready for the broadcast. And luckily Dan and I have been doing this for a long time and know most of the coaches very well, and they're all great to help us and provide us information to allow us to talk about the kids on their team and highlight those kids, and even more than stats, tell some stories about the young men more than just on the football field. And so it's great. It's great. And then, of course, the Internet's a huge help to us to research and be able to find out information and those things. But mostly it's almost all about the coaches.
It really is. And I think you hit a good point. It's not just the stats, and it's not just conversations, but it's more the nuances within the conversations that the coaches really give us information to work with. Wow.
Arsenault with a little pump fake, and he had a chance to get Will Taylor. Wow, and if Taylor has that one closer to him, he's able to take it to the corner of the end zone.
He's gone. Yeah, Taylor, you can see he's got good speed. Jim has revealed that he's a great baseball player, so you upped me on that one. You one-upped me.
Just like that's how we get great information,
right? That's right.
So let's think about this. McGill lost by 28 to Hoover in the state championship game back in 2017. But just not a position McGill-Toolen finds themselves in very often.
Well, and again, dropping down to 6A from 7A. And so we thought this might be a very competitive game. Nobody thought this was going to happen, I don't think.
3rd and 11. Arsenault, pressure coming, steps up in the pocket now. He's got some room. Arsenault trying to get to the outside, stays on his feet and dances inbounds, and he's going to get the first down.
He doesn't blow you away like he is all that fleet. He's a tall kid at 6'3", but he has enough firepower. Get the corner. Also, there's a block here that is nearly one in the back. Watch it right.
Great. Yeah,
he might have missed it.
Yeah, he kind of held up because I saw the same thing, and the receiver kind of pulled his hands back, but Arsenault.
You can see the confidence he has, too, Jim. I mean, this is not Arsenault or McGill-Toolen's night, but he's not giving up.
He needed 11 and got 13. Mike Reynolds up to the 25. Mike Reynolds now over 100 yards on the ground here tonight. Boy, he's had to earn them.
Just no big plays.
Yep.
McGill just has not been able to find Mosley downfield, or anybody for that matter. They had a chance right there. Looked like they were going to get a big play with Will Taylor.
Mike Reynolds. Hole closed up. Quickly there, and Galpine and crew, and we approach 2 minutes to go. When you're talking about definitely 2 down territory earlier, we haven't moved off that.
We sure have. Saraland moved us.
Arsenault looking, fires it. Oh, just a little bit behind her. He's got another touchdown over there as he was trying to get that one to Jordan Mosley and threw it behind him. If it's a little in front of him, it's another TD here, Dan Brennan.
Really is. So he misses
Taylor.
To Will Taylor, a little too far for him. And in that instance with Mosley, throws it too far inside.
So now they're going to try a 41-yard field goal. So you might say, why get 3 points when you're down 28? Well, you want your kicker to get some experience. He just missed a 50-yarder in the first half. Left-footed kicker this time, trying to draw it back in, and it landed just short. So Shine 0 for 2 tonight. And Saraland stays on top 35-7. How about this one across the bay? Daphne, 41-13 all over Fairhope.
You got some teams not taking any prisoners tonight. Those 2 teams now in 7A.
Yep, and that, of course, a huge rivalry over there. Spanish Fort playing Park Crossing tonight. That game does not count. Spanish Fort won by a forfeit tonight, but they wanted to get a game in, and they lead Park Crossing 10-7. 8th Academy all over Alberta, 52-7. Baker big on top of Foley. And so near side spinning is York, the speedster. One of the speedsters up to the 28. St. Paul's leads Williamson 28-6 right now. How about this one? W.S. Neal leads Viger 12-6 in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
Keep getting into the hands of, see the shiftiness of York. He had a good season last year for this Saraland team. Minute to go in the third. Crawford bounces the outside, has the first down to the 41, picks up 13, and I know you're looking at missed tackling, aren't you, Dan Brennan?
I am, and I think we love Crawford, right?
Yeah.
But in years past, McGill-Toolen, isn't that a 4-yard gain and a tackle?
Yep.
Most likely.
Yep.
Now, the kid is running his tail off, and in that case, they're just not wrapping up, and he runs with a lot of fury. You better wrap up, or that's going to happen, and that keeps happening.
Crawford now crosses the 100-yard mark. Green has the play clock come all the way down to 2, heaves this one up off his back foot, and that one nearly intercepted there as Braden Turner was over there on the coverage, and that one Green just kind of launched up. But you watch football on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and footwork gets a lot of quarterbacks in trouble.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what level you're watching. You see when the footwork below the waist isn't there, it can lead to some horrendous.
Yeah, you're just inaccurate.
Yep.
You know, there's a reason that the feet are so important in the whole mechanics of throwing anything.
Second 10.
Wow.
Williams grabs it, splits 2 defenders, and he's up the sidelines, and he's up to the 33.
You know, big, fast, physical guys who are getting the ball on point. And again, missed tackles.
Yep. 23 yards here.
But that's a really good throw. It's a short throw, but it's still a very good throw because it gives him the opportunity to do that.
A big lengthy receiver like that at 6'3.5", and you try and grab him around the waist, and it doesn't.
No.
Doesn't slow him down.
And so if you treat him like you're a tailor, fitting him for a tux, yeah, he's going to leave you.
He's going to have a reason to celebrate in those fancy new
yes, he will.
threads. Through 3 here in Saraland. Spartans on top 35-7 here on Friday Night Rivals on UTV 44. Here we go, 3 in the books, ready to go to quarter number 4. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, our Friday Night Rivals crew, including our statistician David Sharp, Jared Kihas, down in the truck, and our great Friday Night Rivals crew. As Green gives this one off to Crawford, breaks a tackle at the 20, turns on some speed, and he's down to the 12.
Crawford breaks a tackle has been a theme tonight.
Yep. 21. And now you're that McGill defense. You're getting tired. You're tired of being out there on the field. You've been out there a lot tonight.
Your offense just has not been able to make any big plays or sustain enough. And this is one of those offenses right now McGill doesn't seem to have any answers for.
Look at Crawford now, 124 yards and a touchdown on 17 carries.
A lot of that after a lot of contact, too.
They give it to Williams, who came all the way around, was stopped, reverses field, looks to get to the corner, and he does.
Of course he does. I mean, when McGill does something right, they
just couldn't finish it.
Yeah. He couldn't finish it, right. And the finishing was to bring him to the ground.
Williams gets the touchdown, and boy, they had it bottled up coming around to the right side. Let's take a look here, Dan Brennan.
Okay, watch this. Now, the play's defended beautifully. You've got penetration. You've got everything you want if you're McGill-Toolen, but you don't have him to the ground. That's a big, talented guy. And he's going to find the end zone when he reverses field and sees all that green.
Had Mosley over there, too, and kick is good by Hooch Alexander, and it's 42-7. There's a couple of scores. You talked about the Daphne game in this one. I mean, I don't think anybody, would be shocked that Saraland or Daphne would win tonight. The margins that we're seeing is what are going to have a lot of people scratching their head and saying,
Yeah, and I think we've even, you all watching on TV, the crowd here in Saraland, pretty stunned on the McGill sideline, and all of us up here in and on top of the press box, we've seen the manner by which this, victory has come for Saraland, and it's been very dominant. I mean, here in the second half, you think McGill's got a chance to make some noise. They're down 21-7 at the half. They started to do some things a little bit better in the second period, and instead of them reducing the lead, Saraland's just running away.
Yeah, and this is all Spartans here tonight. They got Baldwin County next week. And we looked at their schedule a little while ago, and McGill will head down to Gulf Shores. Darrington drives this one back to the 10.
Ooh.
Jordan Mosley to the 39. And
he flashes some speed, right?
More of our Friday Night Rivals friends here on each and every Friday down here in South Alabama. And Herc Reynolds talked about all the great things they do. Our player of the game, power tools, big or small, whether you're a weekend warrior, have specialized engineered rentals that you need. Herc Reynolds has got you covered. And the penalty going to bring this one back. And Fusaklis got a new one opening up. Spanish Fort. Ruby Tuesday left. Fusaklis
in.
Spanish Fort put the sign up this week. They're coming. So thanks to Fusaklis. Mid-season discipline by you before the game, Dan Brennan. Look at that beautiful moon looking across the way here.
It may look a little larger than it really is on that screen, but it is pretty.
Taylor sprung along and forced out of bounds.
Yeah, they're going to keep the clock rolling, which is probably a pretty good idea.
Got a stop here. We got a Saraland player down across the way on the 20. You start to see some New Jersey, not a hometown of anybody. Here's some New Jerseys out there for the Saraland team. Is Jeff Kelly doing some substitution, and Pate Smith, who's played a lot, played basically every snap out there on defense, and
he's a disruptor.
Yeah,
and he's hurt right now, but
that cramp in his right calf is being very disruptive as
yes, it is
as well.
Very sticky day and night. A little bit of a breeze here, but of course they're not playing on top of the press box. That's where we're seated.
Yeah, the flag across the way is not indicating a.
It's indicating that there's never been a breeze in the history of Saraland. That's what it looks like. Looks like a painting.
And we'll see what McGill trots out here on offense. So keep Arsenault.
It's going to be a psyche that's going to be interesting to see how they put it back together after this one.
Yeah, they give it off to Mosley, and again, you still got to get some reps and some game reps against live competition, and get more film to look at if you're the Jackets coaching staff.
Yep.
There's Mosley, if you're just joining us, he's committed to go to Tennessee. Saraland defense did a good job, as you said, to kind of keep him from having any big plays here tonight.
Saraland just looks like they're in mid-season form, especially that offense.
And their defense is held them to 7 points tonight.
Yeah.
And that was on a short field after an interception at the 21-yard line. Arsenault fires that one well in front of Mosley. And Maurice Davis was the closest one to that one for the Spartans. They'll bring up fourth down and a punt.
I think back the times that we've been just completely stunned by the play on the field. You know, we think we have an idea what's going to go on in any given football game.
Right.
This one's got to rank up there, right?
I would agree. Kilpatrick Not a great punt, and McGill will have to hustle to down it at the 45-yard line. And inside 10 minutes, and you wonder how. Hey, talk about Dan Brennan and his discipline before the game on the French fries.
I appreciate that. I really do.
I mean, he was really good, and then you went back in. Like you thought one, but couldn't help himself.
I had 2 French fries, but it was on 2 separate visits.
He did not have any of the hand-breaded tenders nor the homemade sauces.
Or the Texas toast.
But you can get them at any of the drive-thrus because they're at all their locations. You can also order online at Foosackleys.net and pick it up curbside, snack box, salad, just saying salad, or a tray.
Right,
Perfect for any occasion is the Foo. And they keep the Foo in football.
I hope there's security camera footage of the way I behaved pregame.
As now Gabe Reynolds, sophomore quarterback, comes in for Saraland as we start to see some more substitutions. Reynolds, 5'10", 175-pound sophomore.
You know, before the game, we were talking about this, and I was giving it some thought before the open. My summary was that both teams were ranked. One was on reputation, McGill-Toolen, the other one on performance for what Saraland did to Theodore.
Yeah.
And now we see McGill reputation not holding up in this game.
Robert Greenwood on the tackle on that one as he got down Darius Washington. Evan Blaylock with his first reception of the season. Blaylock, good-looking sophomore, 5'11".
I don't think he's not the first Blaylock to come through this program, I don't believe, Jim. I had some before. How about how well this team has played almost from the get-go, this whole program?
It struggled a little bit year one, and Jeff Kelly came and rolling out. Reynolds has that one picked off. Threw it back across his body, and I think that's Robert Greenwood. No, it was not Greenwood. It was not Greenwood.
11.
It was Dalton Jones who came up with the interception. Thought it was 31. Maybe trying to be a little overexcited for our old friend Pat Greenwood to have his son who was out there, but instead it's Dalton Jones, the junior, comes up with the INT.
It's a good play by Dalton Jones, and I'll tell you why, because, you know, you're out there, you're playing defense, and he smelled that one out. Not only did it hit him right in the hands, but he put himself in a position to make that interception.
Yeah, he jumped in front of Milner.
Nice job. Got to give credit to a lot of McGill fans showing support, hanging in, despite the score.
Jackets on the ground here, and I would guess we'll see just most of that.
It's got to be a shock to the system for these McGill players who really haven't seen anything like this in region play or area, you know, down Mobile, Baldwin County in a long time.
So inside 8 minutes.
Wow.
Banging ahead.
Is that our guy again? No.
Cross midfield. Now that's
Inge.
Yeah, that's Tony Inge. We saw him a little bit in the first half.
Yep.
Sophomore.
Good run, good power, good determination, and some good blocks up front, too.
Picked up 14. Arsenault fires, and he's able to get that one to Mosley complete up to the 35. It was a good ball by Arsenault, and good catch by Mosley. That'll move the sticks up to the 35.
Very rude welcome to 6A for McGill-Toolen, and a great night for this whole city of Saraland. They're going to be on cloud 9 tonight.
This one it'll raise some eyebrows locally, but across the state, there'll be some.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Some folks up around Birmingham scratching their head.
It'll be the talk of the morning on the Prep Sports Show on FM Talk 106.5. This will be the headline right here. This and Daphne throttling Fairhope.
Inge tried to get to the outside, and a handful of Jersey brought him down. Clint Smith with a good job to wrap up there. Like 6.5 minutes to go. Like these, a lot of the kids you see in there for Saraland, and those ones work so hard in practice. They're there every day, and this is their chance to get out there and play. Not just practice, to get a chance to play and enjoy being out there under the lights. And
a lot of these
they've
guys
earned it.
Yeah, and they probably earn bigger playing time any year. Great penetration right there. And then what do we make of Saraland overall? And I'm talking about the first teamers. They look pretty good.
I mean, and you talk about the offense. Obviously, it jumps out at you, but then the defense to just shut down. I mean, just really throttle it back on the offensive side. And we'll take a heat timeout, our final one here, with 5:53 remaining. This one all Saraland tonight here on Friday Night Rivals. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Jared Kios in the truck, David Sharp, our statistician, our great Friday Night Rivals crew here, bringing you this one. Arsenault wide open for Mosley, and he's got it for the 25-yard touchdown toss. Mosley got some space on the far side, and Arsenault with a nice, maybe his best throw of the night.
Yeah, there was a blitz, but it was picked up very well. Arsenault easily sees that Mosley's got numerous steps on defenders, so he doesn't try to be too perfect with it. Touchdown McGill-Toolen. Something they can take away in this fourth quarter at least, but they've done very well right there.
And Shine will come on for the point after try here. And he's got it 42-14 now. So McGill, we talked about just crazy schedule and scheduling tough and dropping down to 6A. They're open the first 2 weeks. And here tonight at Saraland, they go to Gulf Shores, then up to Citronelle before they get home for their big rivalry game against Murphy. And then Baldwin County, Robertsdale. Then they travel up to 8 Mile, which will be a tough one against the Blunt Leopards. Spanish Ford at home, and then Dothan to round out the schedule. And there's going to be more than just Saraland on this team, and teams that have probably never played McGill before.
Or years ago. And the Gulf Shores, I'm sure, has never played well. I would guess they haven't. Citronelle, if not ever, probably in many, many years.
Right.
After a game like this, nothing looks easy. No opponent looks like be easily vanquished after a performance like this. So they've got a lot of soul searching and film watching to do, and young guys need to be coached up. I just think Saraland just had all the answers tonight. I don't know if they played next week, it would be very different.
Blaylock.
Is that fair?
Back of the 6. I would totally agree. Blaylock with some speed up the far side, and now Evan Blaylock up to midfield. Love when kids get in and make the most of their opportunity. And Blaylock, just a sophomore. I think probably call his name over the next couple of years while we're doing Saraland games on TV.
It looks like it, right? And to Coach Hill and his staff, they got a great staff, and this team always comes out with a good plan and ready to go. Just overwhelmed by Saraland's efficiency on offense, hard running, and McGill just did not come out into this game in particular. That guy runs hard, but boy, they needed to wrap up, and they weren't able to do it. A lot of extra yards gained by Saraland.
Reynolds, who had the pick last time, will just hand this one off. Darius Washington.
Crawford's got to be a candidate for player of the game, don't you think?
No question. Crawford's had a great night. Williams had a great night. Green had a great night. That defense, just nominate the whole defense as a player of the game.
Yeah.
Played well, and
let's see.
Jeff Kelly using most of the play clock here in between snaps. Washington to about the 40.
Well, you know, Jeff was a little antsy at the end of the first half. They squandered some opportunities, but still had that 14-point lead. But his assessment going into the locker room was, this is McGill. They're a good football team. We've got to be ready. And they came out and answered in the third quarter and put this thing away.
Third and 3 here for the Spartans, and on the keeper lunging ahead. We're going to look at the spot here with Reynolds and Robert Greenwood. Those of you who've been watching TV in Mobile for the last 40 years or so probably remember his dad, Pat Greenwood, used to be on TV a long time ago.
That long ago?
It was a long time ago. There's Robert Greenwood. He made the stop, a senior.
Pat now, of course, works at the athletics department at the University of South Alabama, where they're all smiles today.
Fourth and less than a yard, and go for it. Washington has the first down, breaks a little contain, still on his feet inside the 25.
Well, if you missed the game and said, what did I miss? There was stuff like that right there.
All night.
Yep.
Picks up 17.
Going to be down around 3 minutes to go at this next snap. Both teams with a lot of reserves in there now, almost exclusively.
But valuable playing time for these young men who never know, injury or so, you'll be counted on to be in a game and much more crucial situation later in the season. Washington down to about the 14 as we tick under 3 minutes to go. Next week, a big fun rivalry game on Old Shell Road. Now a region rivalry game. UMS and St. Paul's. UMS won last night. St. Paul's up late on Williamson tonight.
I think that game will get a lot of eyeballs, don't you think?
St. Paul's one of the top teams in 5A. Washington grabbed down by the ankle and falls to about the 10-yard line. That's going to be enough for a first down. Just outside the 10, so it won't be first and goal. We'll mark it at the 11. Darius Washington, just a freshman.
Jeff Kelly looks like he's pretty much playing nice at this point. When that clock rolled deep down each play.
Reynolds gave it to Washington, who falls to about the 9. Yeah, Coach Kelly, doing some math in his head there, looking at the 40-second clock, looking at the game clock, saying, okay, what can we do here to try to get everybody out of here and not.
Seems like every time we come up here too, Jim, there's something new. There's something new that they're celebrating having been built or erected, or they got the Jumbotron now. They've had that for a few years, but this place is immaculate.
Washington bowls down to the 1. And now did not quite get the first down. Now he did get it, so it'll be first and goal from the 1. Brady Turner comes in the backfield.
Saraland unranked to start the year, and kind of lit a fire into this bunch.
Did they notice that?
From what I hear, yes.
And Jeff Kelly just going to take a knee from the 1 here.
How about that?
And he'll do it one more time, and that'll end it. What a win.
And some nice respect there from Coach Kelly.
Yep, happy just to let the clock expire, and no reason to tack on another score here. There's part of you say, well, the young kids who just marched all the way down the field would love to finish with a touchdown.
Right.
But
bigger picture, maybe?
Yep. Teach some sportsmanship and McReynolds will take the knee, and wow, what a win.
Well, you know, in the glory of what we know as Friday Night Lights, this whole city of Saraland is going to be feeling awfully good about things for the next week after this win.
Yeah,
and maybe for many weeks after that.
You know, they had the impressive victory over Theodore, 7A school, to open the season.
Yep.
And you know, but Coach Kelly told us on the field before the game. He said, you know, but let's keep in mind that was one game, and see the good coaches talking there. A lot of respect for each other, as you can tell and see, and we certainly noticed that when they were together on the pregame show.
Yeah.
That we did.
We like both those guys a whole lot too,
yep.
and respect them both for what they've done with their programs tonight. It just seemed like Saraland
answered everything.
Yeah, this might be their year. Their stars played well. Their quarterback was more efficient than spectacular, but boy, he's accurate with the ball. And they run hard, and they block well, and they defend.
and you know, so they did it all over. Think about the special teams play. The opening kickoff, they had the big return to do that. And then think about, they go up 14-0. They do the onside kick out of nowhere, recovered that. That leads to another touchdown. It's like all the phases of the game, they were on it here tonight.
Yeah, they were just ready to go. And also we saw Coach Boutwell when he came out of the tunnel around 6 o'clock this evening is the first warm-up. You could just feel that they were excited and they were ready, and they felt like something might happen here tonight to really show a lot of people watching TV what Saraland's going to be this year.
You know, and Saraland had, they had a film that McGill could watch. McGill hadn't seen anything from McGill because they hadn't played yet. So that's it. But what a great victory. Jeff Kelly down on the field and has been nice enough to join us here briefly while before he gets with his team, and we won't keep him very long. But boy, what a victory here, Coach Kelly. I know we talked before the game, and you said, hey, week one was a great one, but it was week one. You got to feel really good about what you just saw from your Spartans here tonight.
You know, we're just 2 games into this deal. We feel like we got a football team that's got to grow and it's got to get better. Early on in this season, I'm really excited about where they are. You know, offensively, being able to run the ball in there. I thought Amari played his tail off. Hey, and for the second time, you see a quarterback against one of the best defenses. You got Theodore the first game. Now this one, the Green kid's a pretty good player.
I would say.
We picked up on that.
Yeah. He's a fun one to coach. And defensively, we had some big stops when we needed to. We had some penalties we got to clean up, and so we'll get back to the drawing board, try to get better each and every week.
You know, we got an email from a viewer, believe it or not, somewhere in the Midwest who was watching this game online, and he said, you guys seem to know a lot about these teams. And Jim and I said, well, it doesn't go, we like the internet, and we can also get some stats and all that, but it really comes down to the conversations we have with the coaches. And some of those conversations, Coach Kelly, are very nuanced. And I thought that you laid it out to me this past weekend. You really like this team, and they did have a little chip on their shoulder. That's exactly what we saw tonight.
And I think they still got a chip on their shoulder, and that's just how we want to play ball. And you guys, you and Jim are the best in the business, and we appreciate what y'all do for high school sports. It's with all this going on, we've been going on since March, April, and we've been working since June. How much fun is it to come out here and play high school football? And to see the kids compete like they are, and the cheerleaders and the students, it doesn't get much better than this. So we're thankful to be playing, and I'm thankful to be coaching these guys.
All right, Coach, go get with that victorious team, and thank you so much for the kind words. Jeff Kelly, head coach of the Saraland Spartans, and boy, you're so right, and I liked when you mentioned, Dan, that maybe they had a little chip on their shoulder, and he said, oh, they still do. And, I don't think he wants it to go away. The players of the game, and it's all from the victorious team. Crawford over 100 yards. Williams a big night through the air. And on the kick return to start this thing off. And Carson Green, the quarterback, the dude, like the Big Lebowski.
He's the dude.
He's the dude. And he was great here tonight. Go to utv44.com, and you can vote on your player. And a favorite player, we'll tell you about it next week. But I think Jeff Kelly, he likes the attitude that his team has embraced early in the season.
You come from the world of hockey broadcast. Did you ever see a coach remove the chip off the shoulder of a player or a team Nobody wants to do that. So it'll be a matter of can they sustain that attitude, because execution-wise, they were flawless, but also in terms of energy and attitude, they just were a step ahead.
You'll see this McGill team next week take on Gulf Shores. Again, so much talk, a lot of improvement for a lot of teams between week 1 and week 2. I would expect you'll see a vastly different McGill team next week.
Yeah, you would think so. I don't think they've got as many pieces as they've had talent-wise in years past. We were watching a lot of this talent now show themselves on TV in college football.
Yep.
But this McGill team is this year's McGill team, and we'll see how they move along after this one.
Jeff Kelly and the Spartans winners 42-14. So for Dan Brennan, statistician, David Sharp, Jared Kihas in the truck, and our entire UTV 44 crew, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next week on Old Shell Road, but enjoy this one tonight. Saraland Sparty now 2-1 on the year with a big victory over McT.